Hey, Stoic warrior, we live in a world full of noise, a world where everyone is desperate to prove something. People prove they're right, they prove they're worthy. They explain, over-explain, and sometimes even beg, just to be seen. But a Stoic does not move like the world moves. A Stoic does not beg for attention. A Stoic does not chase validation. A Stoic does not explain himself to people who have already chosen not to understand him. Why? Because a Stoic knows something the modern world forgot. Silence is strength. Most people, when they're hurt or rejected, panic. They send long paragraphs. They try to fix what's already broken. They chase clarity from someone who gave them confusion. But chasing isn't bravery. Begging isn't love. Explaining isn't respect. That is weakness, pretending to be courage. You call someone, they don't pick up, so you call again. You text again. You write your heart out, hoping they'll finally understand. But listen carefully. The more you explain, the more power you give away. The more you chase, the faster they run. The more you beg, the less they value you. And nothing in Stoicism teaches you to surrender your self-respect like that Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. They mastered the art of silence, not because they didn't care, but because they understood a truth that most people never learn. The more you value things outside your control, the less control you have. Epictetus. When you chase someone's attention, when you beg for their understanding, when you explain yourself to someone who already decided to misunderstand you, you are handing them the keys to your peace. That's not peace, that's prison. Real strength is when someone disrespects you and you walk away without a word. Not because you're angry, not because you're cold, but because your dignity doesn't scream. It does not chase. It does not beg. It does not explain. It simply leaves. And that silence isn't emptiness. It's discipline. It's self-respect. It's emotional mastery. So today, we're going deep. We're going to break down 6 raw, uncomfortable truths about Stoic silence. 6 truths that will show you why people who practice silence never chase, never beg, and never explain themselves to anyone. If you're tired of overgiving, if you're tired of misunderstanding, if you've ever chased someone who walked away, this is your moment of awakening. Before we go in, do this one small thing. Drop in the comments, "My silence is my power." Now let's begin. 1. Silence makes them feel your absence more than they ever heard your words. There's a strange paradox in human behavior. When you speak, people ignore you, but when you go silent, suddenly they start thinking. When someone hurts you, rejects you, or ghosts you, your instincts scream, "Say something, fix it, explain yourself so they understand." But here's the truth. The more you talk, the less they listen. The more you chase, the faster they run. The more you explain, the less they value your words. But silence hits differently. Suddenly they feel the absence of your energy, your presence, your effort, your kindness. Elbert Hubbard once said, "He who does not understand your silence will probably not understand your words." When you go silent, you're not punishing anyone, you're revealing who they really are. Because if they cared, they'd notice. If they respected you, they'd reach out. If they were mature, they wouldn't need a long explanation to understand your worth. Silence is not giving up. It is reclaiming power. Presence is noise. Absence is a message. And your silence becomes the mirror that forces them to face their own actions. 2. When you stay silent, you hear the truth. Louder. The world is loud. People are loud. Your emotions are loud. But truth whispers. Most people, when hurt, run to others for validation. They call friends. They vent for hours. They ask strangers online what they should do. But a Stoic does something else. He goes inward. He goes silent. Not because he doesn't feel pain, but because he knows pain speaks loudest when the mind is loudest. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Silence is where truth rises. In silence you realize, they never respected me. I just wanted to believe they did. I'm not hurt because they left, I'm hurt because I stayed too long. I don't need closure, I need peace. Silence separates emotions from values. Your emotions scream, chase them. Your values whisper, hold your dignity. Most people act from emotion. The Stoic acts from reflection, and silence is the doorway. 3. Begging for closure is a form of self-betrayal. Let's be brutally honest. Closure is a beautiful idea, but a terrible addiction. The truth is simple. If someone truly cared, you wouldn't have to beg for closure. People who avoid giving closure are the same people who avoid accountability. They don't want to explain themselves because they'd have to admit what they did. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." You don't need a final conversation. You don't need a perfect ending. You don't need them to validate your pain. Closure does not come from talking. Closure comes from walking away. When you stop chasing closure, you stop betraying yourself. You stop reopening wounds just to feel seen by the person who caused them. Your silence becomes the closure. Your silence becomes the boundary. Your silence becomes the healing. 4. Silence reveals. What words try to hide? Words are cheap. Words are easy. Words can be manipulated. But silence? Silence exposes the truth. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "What you do speaks so loudly I cannot hear what you say." When you stop talking, you allow someone's patterns to reveal themselves. Silence shows you who cares, who doesn't, who was using you, who values you, who only wanted your attention, not your presence. You don't need to test people, just go silent and watch. The ones who care will come closer. The ones who don't, their distance will tell you the whole story. Silence gives people the opportunity to show who they always were. 5. Not explaining yourself is the highest form of confidence. When someone misunderstands you, your ego screams, "Explain yourself, defend yourself, show them you're right." But Stoicism teaches the opposite. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't waste your life wondering what others think unless it serves a mutual benefit." Every time you explain yourself to someone who doesn't value you, you shrink. Every time you justify yourself to someone who has already judged you, you lose power. Every time you defend your character to someone who never asked to understand you, you disrespect yourself. True confidence is this: you know who you are, you know your intentions, you know your worth, and you don't explain that to anyone. Silence becomes your maturity. Silence becomes your discipline. Silence becomes your boundary. People who misunderstand you will fall away. People who understand you will stay. That's alignment, not loss. 6. Your silent detachment is the lesson they'll never forget. People are used to reactions. They expect drama. They expect arguments. They expect you to fight for them. But when you leave quietly, you teach the lesson they never saw coming. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." When you go silent, their imagination torments them more than your words ever could. They replay your absence. They rethink their actions. They feel the weight of losing their energy. Your silence says, "I don't need to prove myself. I don't need to fight for a place in your life. I don't need to stay where I am not respected. You don't need revenge. You don't need a final message. You just leave." And in that silence, they finally learn the lesson. If you made it this far, something inside you is shifting. A quiet realization is rising. You don't have to chase. You don't have to beg. You don't have to explain a single thing to anyone. You don't need to be loud to be respected. You don't need to argue to be right. You don't need to force understanding to be at peace. This is the essence of Stoicism. Silence is not coldness, it's clarity. Silence is not weakness, it's control. Silence is not distance, it's dignity. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you become stronger, you become calmer, you become untouchable. Let your silence be your final word, not out of ego, not out of spite, but out of unshakable self-respect. If this hit your heart, like this video, share it, and subscribe for more Stoic truth every week, and drop this final affirmation in the comments. My silence is my last word, and my most powerful one.